Welcome back to Factorio MSX Gigabase, where we are trying to take on board the extreme challenge of SpaceX, where everything is multiplied by 25 times the normal, plus research is 16 times normal cost, and production is 16 times research cost, and in addition we have further put on Marathon 4 times cost multiplier, making the SpaceX tax costs absurdly, hugely ridiculous. But that's okay. We're not up to that today. Today we are going to knock over this component here, 0 of 175 satellites. We're at the satellite array, we're ready to go. Just a couple of things to note first of all. At this point we have no special bonuses, we have not started any infinite research. Normal of course, because that's as far as they go, because this is a vanilla, well, effectively vanilla other than SpaceX, my train mod, flippers for blueprints, auto deconstruct, and mushroom cloud, which is pretty much a must these days. So you can see we have no special bonuses in there. You can see we haven't started bot speed, we haven't started mining productivity in the infinite research line. So yeah, this is as vanilla as you can get, and very early in the days. 60/60 of course. I don't see that changing, even if this is at 9. We should be able to do this without any impact on our UPS. So, without further ado, oh, one other thing, yes, all of these have auto launch with cargo, very important. So without further ado, I shall turn this on, and we can let the fireworks begin. Here they come, and this will be our first set of launches for our MSX Gigabase playthrough Marathon SpaceX. Not in perfect synchrony, but that's okay. Oh look, and we finally get this guy, which is awesome. I was wondering, I thought that was the case, we had to actually launch something for him to repair. So yeah, this one episode we are going to try and knock over the target 175. I don't think we can actually do 8 satellites per minute. I think it's actually about 6 is what we're predicating this whole thing on. That's interesting, they don't need as many robots as they've got. The train has been called to refill down here, and we look like we're ready to fire up the rockets again. Very responsive, those. The location of, wait for the noise to go by, the location of our rocket control units and low density structures on the map. We just pop out for a moment, you can see satellites are just here, low density structures, rocket control units, so they're very close, which is why of course we've had them delivered so quickly and easily. The rocket fuel, on the other hand, is somewhat further away, but there should be some trains on the way. Here we, that's another low density structure, and we seem to be keeping up the 8 a minute, well, the 8 in synchronous launch pattern for the moment, but it will eventually slow down, I should expect. There we go, there's the rocket fuel. They've got a little bit further to come. So when needed, it takes just a little bit longer to get here. This one is the rocket fuel for down here. Everything continues to work like a charm. How many satellites have we got? We've got 36. That one's got 28. Actually, if I hover over here, it will tell me how many satellites across the two networks, because we have this network and this network are separated, so the bots only work there one side. And it looks like we're about ready to go again. I must say, I'm enjoying this. When you've spent a bit of time putting something together and it's just working beautifully, you've got to appreciate it, don't you? Hard on 6060, let's just have a quick look. That's still on 9, I don't think it's even moved. Maybe when we burn through our supply of materials, as we must do soon, it might have more of an impact. How's this guy going? Let's have a quick look. Certainly filling up. I do hope these don't get overfilled, because I don't have a way of emptying this train at the moment. You can see it has no fuel and it goes nowhere because we don't have the science built yet, but that will come in due course. So these silos have 4 productivity modules on them. As you can see, the crafting speed is affected by 24 sources, so it's the 4 prod modules plus 10 beacons. Is it 10? 4, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No, 20 beacons, of which you only get 50% of the benefit. But that gives a crafting speed of 10.4, which is why the turnaround is incredibly fast on these beacons. In fact, maybe it would pay us to have a quick look at one. No, they're about to launch again. We'll have a quick look after the launch. We seem to still be in unison with 8. As I say, the material supply can only keep up with 6 a minute, I believe. So at some point it will probably start slowing a little bit, but this is pretty good as it stands at the moment. Let's just have a look. A quick look-see at how quick these things go. Really, it doesn't take much time at all to turn them around. There we go again. I think they're actually turning around faster than on a minute at the moment. Let's have a look at the trains coming and going. Are we suffering any unusual congestion or anything of that nature? It doesn't look like it. It looks like the low density structure builds are handling the throughput just fine. There goes some more rockets. How is the rocket fuel holding out? Here's our main source of fuel, and we do seem to have a slight hiccup right here actually. Wonder how that happened. This guy has blocked. Oh, it's because we've got double signals. It's never a good idea. Actually, no, I obviously forgot to remove an artifact when building, so that's the sort of thing that I needed to investigate. I'm going to leave the silo facility for a bit. Is this coping? I hope so. we have these boxes to fill and leave filled if it runs out of space. I am going to go for a bit of a run over to where I have a train and pop up to that oil and try and fix it up before it causes us an issue during this process. We do have an alternate supply of oil, rocket fuel. That's what I really mean, not just oil, but oil that's been turned into solid fuel and then rocket fuel. And we have this facility here that also makes it. This is my testing of design, and it also is able to create rocket fuel for us. How's that going? 32,000. That's very interesting. So here's my train. We'll have to run on manual just for a sec, get back onto the upper track, and then we can head for our oil in the northeast corner and fix up that issue. 72. We are on the cusp of halfway. Aside from this slight hold up, we don't seem to be having any dramas so far. This gives you the opportunity to see the factory a little bit. At the moment we're going past or through Circuit Alley, where we have green circuits here, red circuits here, processing units here. Looks like we're giving way to something. That's all good. Yes, this is causing a bit of a blockage here, which might slow us up, so we definitely need to clear it. We're at 80. Are we stopping at 80, or are we still oh, let's just fix this up. I thought I had actually addressed whatever signal issues may have existed in this system, but I clearly missed that incorrect signalling at the entrance, and perhaps some trees also along the way. We might have starved ourselves of rocket fuel for the time being. No, there you go, we do have a few more launched, so we still seem to be good, but this certainly does have the potential to continue to cause issues until resolved. So it's the rocket fuel one, isn't it? This one just here. Let's just manually move this guy back a little bit. Oh, not that way. This way, dude. See if we can fix this before it causes dramas. That one's actually got a stop on it, so we don't need those ones. Now we can go to automatic. And it's repathed to a different one. So there's a circuit control here that basically says don't come in here if I don't have enough rocket fuel to fill you up, and that forced the pathing elsewhere. Now that should have resolved our issue here, but doesn't appear to have. So I might be one stacker short on this oil. I'm just going to tell you to go there to get out of the way, and in that way we're sort of it should have been automated, I guess, but that will enable the oil to clear, and the these guys will reload with rocket fuel, and maybe that will cause a little bit of action. It's probably not emptying particularly fast. No, he's not. And if these guys can all clear, our little train here will come and join us. So how are things here? 10.3. We're so far away from threatening 60-60 that I don't think it's going to be an issue. 102 of 175. I think we may have slowed a little bit. Let me just have a look at these other. That one's fine. That one's fine. That one's fine. This one at the end is not. Let's fix that one as well. Before it does exactly this. It would have been tragic to have left it. Oop. There's always a reason to do these sorts of tests so that you can find little artifacts in your system that you may have missed earlier, and that's exactly what we have found, so very good. But yes, our speed, possibly because of the fuel slowing down, seems to have slowed, but perhaps it will start picking up again now. Let's go back to the launch facility, or at least we'll send this train to where the design area is. Yeah, this does need an additional stacker. Let's just see, where does this guy came from? That one, right? You go there, just to keep this clear and moving. I have to look into that. 116. I don't know how many minutes through we are, but it's certainly nice to see these things clicking over. Let's see if there's any outstanding. No, all the train demands have been met. They do seem to be going up a little bit more sporadically now than they had been. As I said, I didn't expect to maintain 8 launches per minute. That's a little bit beyond what I was expecting, but we certainly are continuing to launch at a phenomenal rate. How's this going? This is building satellites. We should check production actually. Over a minute. We should be doing 6 satellites a minute. It's saying 5.2 at the moment. I wonder why that is. And some of this other stuff is not actually producing at the rate expected. Possibly because it just doesn't need to. When you use, there we go, there's some more rockets. When you use passive supply chests, they have a habit of, well, I mean you can limit what's in them, but if they fill up, robots then tend to empty chests before they go on to the next one, so until you have the demand across the whole lot, you won't get the effect of all of your machines sorting everything out in a timely manner. So we're getting 2 up here. We could probably, if we look at production, does it have rockets? It would probably have what's that? Science packs. So science packs 8.7k per minute. Over 10 minutes, 76k. Over 1k, 1 minute 7k. So the average is definitely in excess of 6,000 a minute, which is what we wanted. An hour it won't be, of course. But 10 minutes, 76, 1 minute. 1 minute is going to jump around depending on exactly where you catch the launch cycle. We only need another 39 launches, however, so that should only be about 6 more minutes and we should be done. We'll just have a look at oil. We obviously, as I said, we obviously need to do a bit of a fix up to this oil. I thought I had fixed these things. What's its problem? Oh, it must have decided that it could go in and then it got told it couldn't. I'm guessing a little bit of teething there, but it doesn't matter because we have one sitting here and we have other trains that I actually was hoping to pay more attention to over here. So that one, I had an older build for oil here that got ripped down, and it has spare plastic and spare rocket fuel, so just wonder what we have consumed. We've consumed the rocket fuel and we have consumed a tiny bit of the plastic, very little of the plastic in fact. Looks like we're about to have some more launches take off. That's very good. Just the 4 on the bottom at this point. That one is rocket fuel perhaps. Possibly. Looks like this one is very light on rocket fuel as well. Where's my character? There he is. Oh, we've just received rocket fuel there. Does seem, because the rocket fuel is coming from so much further away, it is a little bit more difficult to get the rocket fuel in a timely manner. I think we have to look at the 10 minute, and that is the 6,000, so that is a good sign. Low density structures we should have, they should be being produced at about 40,000, these two. So we must be running down supplies. Yeah, 47,000. And if you get less than that, then you will run down your supply. But I did test it when it was first put in, and we were certainly getting the numbers that we needed, so yeah, as you can see over here, for example, this is completely full, this one is completely full, and this one's completely full. So if it needed to, it would access those, and each one of those would have filled a carriage. So that's why it's not running at full capacity. What are we at? 152. 4 more sets of 6. So with a bit of luck, 4 more minutes and we should be done. Just 19 to go, so it's just over 3 minutes. Perhaps. They're definitely out of sync now, the top and the bottom, which is interesting. And even the rockets within them are out of sync. We can hover over them and see how many each one's launched. Strangely enough, the bottom ones seem to have launched more. Although everything's all caught up, or is about to be all caught up. If you're wondering about the light, I have a light, a special light thing that after the sun goes down, it adjusts the intensity of the light to try and encourage better sleeping patterns. So it's got slightly false colour on Factorio for this test, but that is fine. Hopefully it means after this I can get a good night's sleep. Though I don't know if I will, because this is just working so well. How are we going here? We have actually crept up to 12, so perhaps the factory is actually kicking into gear and doing something, although this would suggest it's not really doing very much, but that's okay. Yes, just enough to tick over. Close. I guess every time there's a launch, this climbs back to our 6,000. Or are we having trouble with oil again? That one is still jammed there. Why is it not? Might be a bigger issue. As in, well, it shouldn't have come through to there in the first place, but we have no light and we have tons. I was wondering if this could happen, especially without the impact of science draining the plastic. Yes. We are getting some plastic being used, but maybe it's not enough. Where are we at? 170. $172. 3 more launches and we'll call it quits. Certainly it has dropped off a little bit. There are a couple of things that need looking at, which is why we do a test. However, as promised, we have still delivered our 175 launches in a single episode. This one here will be the 175th, and at that point I will call it and investigate some options, I guess, for fixing a bit of the throughput in the oil. There we go. Satellite network established. Now build the space dry dock facility. SpaceX Extreme Stage 1 completed in a single episode. Thanks for joining me, guys. Look forward to seeing you in the next. Bye bye for now.